All right, that sucks. I guess something disconnected my internet somehow. All right. Now that I'm back, I have no idea what happened. My internet just died. My son was working on some stuff too. But anyways, let's get back into the nitty-gritty. I was just mixing a lower value high chroma mixture right here. And I'm going to scoop up part of that paint and put it right here. Ooh, but it needs to go darker in value. It's about the right color. Well, actually, no, it needs to go darker. There, that's a better chromatic area. And then I'm going to add a little bit of yellow ochre to it just to push it a little bit darker. I'm going to do another section right here. And it transitions over here just a little bit. And over here. I need to darken that value just a little bit more. So I'm going to creep into these halftones, and actually I'm going to add a little bit more of that blue, king blue, make it more of a grayish tone. That looks better. Okay, now that I have painted part of that, I'm going to get just a little bit more greenish tone come up to the top here. I'm trying to do brush strokes that go along or around the form. I need to take a similar value like this, just a little bit more green, and put it up in the top there. So if I take this yellow, I'm going to go a little bit orange to darken the value, and then a little bit more of that green go on the top here. And a little bit more green color. I'm just popping that chroma a little bit more to turn this form just a little bit more. I'm just barely skimming the surface with the paintbrush. And I don't want to bring that same green over here. I want this to be just a little bit more chromatic, but darker in value, because I want this to be the lightest value, not this part. So I'm going to take some of this oranginess. That's a technical term. And if I have enough paint on there, this is what you can do if you have enough paint. I'm just drying my paintbrush, removing most of the paint, and I can soften out edges without applying too much color. So that edge needs to be softer. That edge needs to be softer. There we go. Now the form's starting to turn. Man, love this stuff. All right. Now that I have some of these values, I have a couple of brush strokes that are in here, and I'm not loving the brush strokes. So I'm going to come in here and with kind of a dry brush, break up the consistency of that stroke. I don't want it to be so consistent. I'm going to do the same thing on this part. I'm going to break up those shapes just a little bit more, create some more inconsistencies in the paint. And then right at the top, well, I need to switch to not my light brush, but my shadow brush. So here's the shadow brush. I'm going to go a little bit higher in chroma, but keep that value slightly darker. There we go. And I want to get this ridge as it comes around. I don't want to remove all of that darker value because it has this little lump that goes across it. So I'm going to get a little bit more paint. Then I'm going to clean the brush so I have less paint and soften out that edge. There we go. And then I'm going to take some more of this yellow ochre color. Go over some of these forms to soften them out. And then I want to soften out those edges too. So I'm going to go with like a very chromatic orange color that's in that darker value. Yeah, I'll go this red. That looks good. And come in here and break up part of this brushwork. And also some of this. I need to increase the chroma, decrease the value. That's basically all I'm thinking as I'm working on these paintings. What is the hue, value, chroma? Hue is the color of the color. Is it yellow, orange, blue, purple, green? Value is how light or dark that color is. So is it a value 1, which is really dark, according to Munsell, or is it a value, I don't know, 8, which is a pretty light value? So I think about value changes. See this nice little color change that goes right there. What's the value change? And then what is the chroma? Like how yellow is it? Is it a vibrant yellow? Is it a semi-vibrant yellow? So this is a vibrant yellow, and none of the lemon is that vibrant of a yellow. But I will take this yellow and put it off to the side there and take some flack white and add it to that. Oh, that gets a good consistency. The problem is that goes too green. So I need to add a little bit of red. That is more the highlight-ish type value. And just come in and massage that color onto it. I think I could probably push it a little bit more. So I'm going to scoop up a little bit more. trowel this paint on there. Push it around. A little bit more white. Okay, after looking at this white, I'm thinking that I did go too light in my chroma and the lights. I think I need to go slightly darker. But in terms of a study, this is totally feasible. I'm using the texture. I'm trying to create randomized textures. Here, I don't want it to be the same. I'm just scooping up the paint and then placing it down on there and randomizing the texture so that it looks like there's lumps and bumps in it. That will allow it to catch the light a little bit better. All right, now I have this little part, and the lights in that part are definitely not as light as the highlights. So I'm going to come in here and mix together a slightly lighter value for this subset, but not as light as this subset. And there are some areas that are getting some light that I want to enhance a little bit. That'll make it bulge out, protrude, bulge, protrude. I don't know, bulge sounds like a weird word. Here's this bulgy part. All right, so I could take and render the hoopla out of this thing, or I can make it more interesting. I think I want to make it more interesting, so let me clean some of these brushes. Okay, navel. Got to paint that navel in there, just so that we understand directional feasibility. Now, the color of the navel is, it's kind of like a slight green. I have some little hairs on these Langnickel. That's the problem with Langnickel brushes. These things are not very good with holding on to their form. So anyways, I'm taking just Naples yellow. No, this is not Naples yellow. Transparent oxide yellow. And I'm just going to place it in here. Yeah, take a little bit more. To create a divot. And then it needs to go more of a green. So I'm going to take ultramarine blue with this brown. I'm going to place it right next to it. Ooh, that value is pretty darn close. Hot diggity. Man, I love it when I'm right. Okay, then I'm going to take some of this king blue, lighter value. I don't want too much. It's a pretty strong color, but just enough. I want to gray it down just a little bit because that reflected light that's bouncing into it. Oh man, this is looking good. It's looking so good right now. As one of my friends would say, I won't tell you the name of the friend that would say that, but you know who you are if you watch these. Okay, I'm going to present a core shadow here. just on this form to turn it a little bit better. A core shadow is the darkest value on a object to round out a shape. And then I'm going to take that same type of core and go up top here. I'm not liking part of that there, so I'm going to come in and take some of this and just soften that out. Soften that out. Turn that form. It's still too green. Add more of a red. Massage it a little bit. Okay, and then I need to bring it all the way down to this bottom part here. Man, these little nuances of yellow and stuff, it is really hard to get them correct because the values are so well compressed. And if you get them too light or too dark, they jump out at you, and it is scary when it jumps out at you. It's like a horror film when you look at a painting and it's like a horror film. Yeah, like this is it's almost too much. All right, I'm going to make it less so much. Go with red, the yellow. Then it goes more of a greenish yellow, like this. Right over here. All right, I'm kind of digging that right now. That toned it down a little bit more. This needs to round out a little bit more too. So I'm going to get my light brush back again. And I want to rework that. So I'm going to go with yellow. This time I'm going to add some Naples yellow to it. Ooh, that might be too light in value. Shiitake mushrooms. Gonna go a little green with it. Oh, more green. All right, let's try that out. It's trial and error, baby. Nope. It's not it. Needs to go slightly more. Nope, that was too orange. Hot diggity. Okay, let's try this. Ooh, I'm kind of thinking that might be it. All right, this lemon's looking like a lemon, and maybe I'll do a better one next time. I don't know, it's looking kind of good. Maybe I'm just convincing myself that's looking kind of good. I do want to push this value. I want to increase the chroma there a little bit more because it's still not, it needs to be more red. Oh, maybe this is too much red. I don't know. Let's try it. Let's see. No, that's really nice, actually. And I'll take that same color. And the same one on the under part here. There we go. Happy day. Just throw in some of these darker values to turn these rib-like forms so that they look like they're planar changes. Planar, not plain air like you're painting outside, but planar. There's a form that's changing. Okay, now that I have gotten most of this stuff figured out, now how do you make it glowy? And the glowing effect is really neat because all you do is you can take the complementary, you could really take any color that you want, and you mix it up at a high chroma in between the value of the object and the value of the background. So right now it's pretty hard edged and I don't have much color in that background. So I want to make the colors pop out a little bit more. Before I go into the glowing effect, I'm going to trim down a part over here just a little bit more that I'm not so happy with. You got to be nitpicky with all these little shapes. I tell you what, transparent oxide red. All right, and then pull that across a little bit more, transparent oxide red for that core. And then there's this little bulbousy thing that's coming down there, but I have to go to my shadow shape brush again, reestablish those shadows. Here I'm taking that shadow shape. I'm going to just carve into this just a little bit more. Yeah, buddy. Okay, maybe that's too hard of a carve in. So I'm going to use the soft edge. It's not totally loaded, but just kind of go around, finesse that edge. I could finesse that better. There we go. And then this top part needs to be finesse more. So I'm going to go with this dark value. That's the background value. I'm going to come in and cut in that shape better. Even better. There we go. Happy lemon. Look at that thing. Okay, now on to the color. So I'm going to really clean up this brush. And I'm going to go with this blue. So I have to clean it up really good because if I don't, it's going to go green. So here I have a high chroma, middle value, blue. I need to get a good amount of it on there, because if I don't have enough paint, it's going to mix with that background value and color, and it won't do its job. Dang it, too light. Okay, that's pretty darn high chroma. All right, so now I just go around the edge of the object. I might want to pick a peak. So here I want to have it the lightest value, and then here it gets darker, and there it gets darker, so it gives it more of a glowing effect. So highest chroma, we're going to go first at the top here. And as I'm brushing it, it pulls it across so that it mixes with that background color. Start from the center. Okay, wait for it. Wait for it. I need more paint. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger here. Soften that out. A little bit more paint. And if you want it more glowy, you just make the brush stroke bigger. Ta-da! Look at that. It is like magic. Crazy magic. Yes, Brandon, I am showing people how to get it done. I don't know if he's still on or not, but I just saw his statement, so I don't know how long ago that was. But anyways, it's all good. Okay, so I'm going to take this blue color. I'm going to mix it in a little bit more and do the same thing around the edge here. Just to soften and diffuse that glowy feel to it. Same thing with this side. You can also do this after it has dried. Just finessing a little bit. After it has dried. The other thing you can do too is here, if I come back into this yellow with a clean brush, I'm going to start from the center. And I'm pushing out towards that blue. It will mix with part of it and turn it a green. Kind of bridging the gap between the yellow and the blue. All right. This, I want to soften out this edge. So I'm going to come in here and just really soften it out. So I'm taking this dry brush, I'm cleaning it. I have enough paint on the canvas to be able to do this, but I'm just going to turn that form and soften it out a little bit more so that it doesn't look so cut out. I'll do the same thing on this back end here. I don't want it to be too hard, so I'm going to clean my brush again. Come from the dark values into the lighter values. All right, people, that's how you get a glowing effect around your fruit if you ever want to make your fruit glow. So easy. Who doesn't want their fruit to glow? I've had 100% success in selling glowing fruit like this. 100%. Sold every single one. It's crazy. All right, now I have to go in and refine some of these other things and finish this baby up. I also want to make this slightly darker on the under part. because it needs to be. So transparent oxide red, raw umber, and some of that black oil. A little more, a little more. Okay, now it's liquidy. Okay, happy day. All right, there's my darkest value. Then it gets a little bit lighter as it goes out to the side there. I can soften out those edges more. Gonna clean off my brush and soften out this transition more. One brush stroke. What the heck? Did that just happen? I think you just saw it. I just saw it, and that was pretty awesome. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I need more paint in this foreground portion though, but just in terms of softening it. Yeah, it's getting too hard. I need more paint. It's the downside of working with less paint is you can't get that feel that you might want to go for. All right, I need to mix that same color. What did I use? I'm pretty sure I used raw umber. I'm pretty sure I used yellow ochre, and I'm pretty sure I used flack white. Oh my goodness. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what happened. Oh man alive, look at that. It's almost like I mixed that color before. All right, now to provide some interesting paint stuff so that the rest of the painting is interesting to look at. And I am painting this on canvas because I don't know, I might. No, part of me wants to make that glow even bigger. Okay, fine, I'm gonna do it. I'm going to make it really glowy. Take the same color, and I'm just going to lift, go a little bit higher. There we go. A little bit higher, a little bit higher. Okay, happy day. All right, now interesting texture on the foreground, and then I'm going to call it a day or two. It's been a really weird day today because I started to make a video, and then the camera died on me, and so I started to make another video, and then the network died on me. Man, it's just a lot of death everywhere. All right. In terms of making this more interesting, that's where I'm going to get some different paint qualities. So I'm going to go with some oranges. When you're doing this and making it look like it's a part of the surface, you have to make sure that it doesn't compete with the object that you're painting. And so you want to take some of the colors and values that are found in the object and place those on the surface or in the painting somewhere so that it creates a better sense of harmony. Go with some of these lighter values. Let's get something right here-ish. So I'm just dragging this fan brush on the surface because it'll create a different texture that I want to go for. And then make thinner lines as you go further back to the horizon so that it reads correctly. So if I make this more vertical than this, it will create a sense of depth. I don't want that to end at that same spot though. There we go. Let's throw in some grays. Yeah, buddy. So let's get more of a gray. Come on, Flack White. Get on there. Really scoop it up. More Flack White. The other nice thing about doing this various texture on the surface is it allows you to be able to lead the individual's eye around the surface. So you, as the artist, get to control where the person looks. I mean, it's not controlling, but it's more of a guide. Ooh, yeah, there you go. You're a guide to the visual experience that they are seeing. And in order to guide them, you want to make things most interesting with where you're wanting them to look. So here towards the center, that's where I want them to look. So I'm creating most of the texture there, and then I'm going to soften out textures as it gets further away from that center point. So it's less interesting to look anywhere else. Like if they look at it, they could go, oh, that's an interesting mark, but it's not as interesting as the actual portion I want people to look at. All right, and then I gotta throw in a little bit of that blue. More blue. Drag that brush across. I'm making happy trees here, people. You see that? Happy, happy trees. Maybe a little bit of blue that's coming to the back there. Ooh, that's too light in value. I need to darken it. Darken it. Come on. Darker. Jeez. All right. That darker value also needs to go in the shadow. There we go. Now it looks like it's a whitish paint that's kind of coming up into that. Make it a little bit more interesting in that shadow. Go to the other side of the back here. Okay. Trying to think if there's anything else. There are a couple things now that I've had time away from looking at the lemon. There are a couple things I want to change. So I'm cleaning off my fan brush. I'm going to see if I can change it with the fan brush because it's fun. It's the only reason why you should change things with a fan brush is solely because it's fun. Okay, I liked that better. Just going back and forth between one side that has the paint and the other side that does not have the paint so that I'm mixing up and varying the shapes a little bit more. Okay, in terms of an Alla Prima, I'm okay with. I'm good with how it turned out. If I were to do an indirect version of this, I would probably I would let it dry and then come back in and paint another layer and make it more textured and interesting. Not that it's not interesting right now, but to me, it's a lot more interesting if you have more texture and more colors and more variation and everything. When it's all figured out in one go, to me, it's kind of like playing checkers. I'm just being direct with everything and playing the game. Sure, I win the game, but if you play chess and win the game, that's the schnizzle, I think. But what do I know? I don't know what I know. I know some things. I just want to take this and flatten out that shape just a little bit more. Make it a little bit more geometric there, because maybe that was too geometric. Okay, too much. Happy geometric lemon. Happy, happy. There we go, a little bit more variation. And then I want to put a couple more details that are slightly darker in value. I'm going to go with something between these two. There we go. Shadow shape. Let's do another one. Nope, I need to go a little bit more paint. I don't know if this lemon is just starting to go kaput on me, or if I'm starting to see too many details now. I think I'm starting to see too many details, and I want to render out the details. Stop it. I need to look at it from a different angle and make sure that it's not too glossy. All right, need to soften out a couple of these other little things. Man, I'm getting little hairs everywhere. Where are these hairs coming from? Freaking lang nickel. Yep, there's a hair. Scoop that off. Thank you, lang nickel. Here's another hair. Scoop that off. Thank you. And then I'm going to come back in with that shadow shape and cut it in again. Dang it. Cutting in all these things. Why am I making so many choices at the last minute? And just stop. Okay, so this comes in. Come on, paint, get on there. Just need to massage the shape just a little bit more. And then I want to cut that back just a little bit more. I don't like how it feels so bulbousy towards the navel. I want to give it like a sumo orange head shape thing. I don't even know what to call it. You know, on sumo oranges, how they pop up right here. This lemon has that, and I want to not exaggerate it, but just kind of place it in there. All right, now I'm gonna take this background. Oh man, look at that. That's a pretty darn close mixture to that background color. Hot diggity. Just soften that out. Soft, soft, soft. Gosh, I don't know how Bob Ross talked the whole time. I have some artist friends that they can talk up a storm. They could talk all day while they're painting. For me, I get so focused on it and I just don't want to talk anymore. I just want to paint. Is that too much to ask? There we go. Much better. Now, for me, I think it's much better. Maybe for somebody else, they're like, I don't even see a difference, dude. What are you looking at? But for me, it was better. I think. I hope. Maybe. We'll see. There we go. And then the bottom part, I just need it to have a slight overlap there. What color? Okay, I'm going to go for this color. Scoop up so I have some paint. Yes, that's some good overlap right there. And then, it doesn't matter. I'm going to mix some of this together anyways. I'm basically done. So I'm going to take this part and flatten out right here because I don't want that to be as light of a value. Oh, it needs to go darker. No, it needs to go darker. Scoop. Brush. Oh, okay, that's looking better, but I think it's just too dark. Scoop. Brush. That reads better. The other thing I need to figure out sometime eventually is how to turn on music while I'm doing these live recordings, because YouTube will dock me and be like, copyright infringement because you have music playing in the background and you didn't ask for permission to play it while you're working. Because I guess if I work and play it at the same time, it's bad. I mean, why would that be bad? I guess if I make money off of it, that could be bad. So maybe I should just say, I don't want to make money off of this stuff. It's not very good money to do this, but I figure I'm painting anyways, so I might as well. Might as well do it. All right. I think I'm going to call it done. I'm happy for right now. But tomorrow morning might be a different story. I might wake up and go, what the crap was I thinking? Why did I think that this was okay to stop with? But I am calling it a quit. So thank you very much for staying here and watching me paint or observing the painting. And don't use Lang nickel brushes. They will make your paintings hairy. But I just use them because they're here and available. All right. I hope you have an excellent day. I am going to do this again tomorrow, but with a different painting. Or maybe I'll do another lemon and I will make it glowy, but I'm going to cut it in half or something and have lemon stuff everywhere because that's dangerous. All right, let's sign this baby. That's an F, in case you didn't know. That's an L. That's an A. That's a C. And that's a K. Just in case you missed that, I thought I'd let you know. Same way you'd spell flack white baby. All right, have a good one. Thanks.